Right? Welcome everyone. Welcome to the last farewell. Just start with a whakatauki if we can. Yo guys, amiria kia whakarunga. Okay, as always, last time ever, onwards and upwards. Everyone's here. Done. Anyone got any late items or urgent business? Did everyone get that bit of paper or was that just for me? Just been for me.
Yeah, special.
Yeah, special, right? It was just the media release for the Three Waters, doesn't matter. So no late items, no declarations of interest, and hold on, there is.
Declarations of interest, I think it's agenda item number 3. There's a couple of,
Your name's mentioned in dispatches.
Send that from.
you'll just pull back and move out of it. So can you note that? No one from the public forum, so we'll move straight through to item number 1, swimming pool down at Kai. Mike.
Your Worship. Oh. Happy to take the items read and to take any questions.
Questions, Tim? I took a TV crew down through Kai on Monday, and boy, it's absolutely 32 houses that you can go and visit now. Something pretty special, and swimming pool is just another feather to their bow, isn't it? So, if there are no questions, sorry, Bruce. Councillor Lawler.
Thank you, through your worship. Just that is the total amount of the depreciation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no questions, Mike, can you hold and hover just in case, and we'll open up for general discussion. No general discussion. I'm happy to move both 1 and 2. If someone wants to second it, move along. Councillor Graham seconding it. Is there any discussion that I move that we agree to number 2? Discussion? Put to the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Thank you. Similar with the Awaka Community Centre, toilet upgrade. Our which I presume is mine.
Your Worship, again, the same again, really. I'm happy to take that as read. To answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Mike?
So sorry.
Yep, no.
So they're doing that total upgrade of those toilets for $8,000, $9,000. Right?
No, that's for to develop the plans and to get them ready for the consenting and also to get pricing as well. Sure.
Right.
Councillor Finch.
Thank you. I note they only had 1 quote. Do you think, I know it's local and that's great, but do you think that's, okay to have just 1?
Through your Worship, I guess there's 2 parts to that. One, that they've already done some pro bono work for the group in terms of getting them this far, and they've had previous experience with that supplier, so quite happy with them. And I guess thirdly, it seems reasonable price.
Yeah, thank you for that. That answers my question.
Councillor Lumen.
Just a question, how much is in the reserves for the Awaka Community Centre, do you know?
I think
Says it on page
18.
Says it on page 12,
Sorry.
21k.
Yeah,
No
okay,
question.
thanks.
There is a full breakdown on page 18.
Councillor Herbert.
That's what I was actually alluding. Page 18. There'll be a fresh lot of funding for this current financial year, though, won't there? Because that's up to June last financial year. So the 20,000 that's in there will be topped up again with another 21,000, won't it?
That's correct.
Yeah. So the 11,000 is
Just
no.
No, if you look on page 18, the depreciation funding is only about 6. It's not the full 21 yet.
But what I'm saying, there'll be another lot of revenue coming in for this current year. So the account won't be down to $11,000 or what? It'll be up to
17 or something.
yeah. Well, yeah. So it's not as bad yet. Because that revenue and expenditure was up to the end of last financial year, not this current financial year.
That's correct.
Yep. Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, I'm willing to take both recommendations if someone's willing to give it a shot.
Can I just ask a question, sorry? On the plans on page 21, I see there's a wheelchair access in what looks like it's the ladies' side. Is that a unisex one?
Through your Worship, yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Bruce, is that your hand up?
If Dane doesn't move, I'm happy to move.
I'm happy to move.
Yep.
Between the two of you, we'll get Councillor Catherwood moving and Volwela seconding, even if they didn't know, we'll do it anyway. Open for discussion, if you want to challenge these two people.
Good luck.
I just like to make comments.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you go for a day.
I'd just like to make a comment that it's a very proactive community group that do really strive to go out and get external funding away from council as well. So obviously using the depreciation funds, and then once they've got those plans approved, then they take it to the funders and find that external funding. So think you'll find it. And the hall is coming up pretty ship shape actually. So 57 years old, that toilet block. So all for it.
Done. You're the mover and you've closed the conversation before it even started, so we're into it. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Thank you. Over to page 23, delegations for our CEO. Steve, did you have anything that you wish to add? Pretty straightforward, isn't it?
That's right, Your Worship. It's standard at this time of the election cycle, and it's necessary. So, there are controls. Don't forget that doesn't mean that it's carte blanche for me to do anything I feel like doing. There's a lot of things I can do now that I don't do, So the controls are that things can only be approved but can't wait till the first meeting of the new council, and it needs to be reported to the first meeting of the new council as well. So, that's my accountability to you. If I do something silly, delegation, I'm accountable to you at that first meeting.
It's almost inconceivable to think the place would function without us, but there you have it. Anyone got questions for Steve?
Oh, sorry, I probably also should add, it wasn't just about delegations, it was about the committee, keeping the committees open. They're necessary, are important in case hearings are required. And then, of course, with Councillor Holweiler putting his hand up, noting that he is retiring, we do need to have commissioners available to be able to do the work, and that's important as well. So, as we know, Councillor Holweiler has ably led those hearings for many years, and that's the feeling that's why we are suggesting Councillor Holweiler remains as those commissioners.
And Councillor Holweiler has declared the interest and excluded himself from the conversation, so I think we should get rid of him.
How many years has he got?
Yeah, far too long. This is our chance. He's going to sit there in silence. Councillor Martin.
Through you, Worship, the question for Steve. So, Steve, appreciating the first term councillor, but and with the changeover between trienniums, what's an example of you having to use your delegated authority in the past where you've had to do something when there's, just anything that springs to mind?
I don't believe I have actually ever exercised it. My recollection is I haven't. If it was, let's say we had to do I know there's some things on here, we're firing them all in there about these road closures, for example, something simple. If we had to do a road closure or something out of the blue that only council can approve, then there would be a simple example of me just being able to do it with the council delegation.
I was just thinking too, for number 4 and 5, should we be giving Karen a ring so that she can... Pretty straightforward, guys. We do it every term. It's just operational. So if there's no further questions, Councillor Graham, are you moving?
Yeah.
Happy to move, Councillor. Seconded, Councillor Payne. Any further discussion? Put the vote. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Right, we've got to stop some roads. Who's doing it? Kill it.
No, I'm not sure that you've met you before, Titus.
Oh, yeah, I'm just told I was this Mary Keast by any chance.
No, you've met
Murray
you.
actually gave me the call. I'll be standing in today. Chair, I haven't met anyone here. Titus Naidu, the new appointed Senior Asset Manager Transportation. Great to meet everyone.
Good, welcome, and my apologies for not knowing that. If I was half quite prepared for this meeting.
That's all right.
Welcome, everyone. Floor is yours.
Chair, with your leave, I'll take it that reports related to item 4, 5, and 6.
What we might do if I can, I'll go because there are quite a few votes. I'll do 4, then, sorry, it's got to be pedantic, but I'll go one at a time.
I'll take it that report 4 is read. Take any questions?
Councillor Finch.
Thank you. It doesn't actually state in the recommendations at the cost of those who it is doing. Should it not actually say that? I know it says it in the report, but it doesn't say it in the recommendations of any of them.
Yes, we can add that in.
Thank you. Throughout the whole lot of those road stoppings.
Yeah, so through you, Your Worship, it's not necessary to have it as a resolution. The resolution is you're agreeing to the road stopping. We've put it in the report that anything like this has to be at the cost of the applicant. So it's not necessary to specify that. If you wish to add another section in for it, can be, but absolutely doesn't stop us doing it.
I'm happy to roll. We've got Councillor Finch, but if you especially want to, we can put a 2.5.
Yeah, I just think it should say somewhere about it.
But if you want to do an amendment, you can put down if that's what you want to do. Someone wants to second it. So words, Julie, that you've undoubtedly already typed out to the effect that they pay. Yeah, this is an amendment to this. I'll get her to move, then I'll get a second, then I'll go on.
We're just adding to.
It's not an amendment.
Just
Yeah,
Just
you're
saying,
you're right.
at the cost of.
It's just 2.5, it's just that.
Because, so seeing we haven't voted, we can just roll it as an additional amendment, 2.5.
That the road stopping costs be, that the road stopping costs be at the applicant's expense.
Yes.
So knowing that that's part of what we're discussing now, 2.5. Does anyone have any further questions before we, Councillor Herbert?
So, Mike, just a quick question on the map on page 32.
Yeah.
It obviously looks like there's been provision historically there for a road right through there. So we're 100% sure we're never going to need that in the future, or it's with river erosion or developments or anything, we're never going to need that. Once we've closed it and sold it, then that's the end of that.
Yes, we have done investigations into that. We don't see any future need to develop that road.
Okay.
Councillor Catherwood.
Yeah, just curious, so the costs, the value of it, because that land belongs to the county, so the sections either side of it, like land values of 40,000, and then it's an independent value. Would we be expecting to get $30,000 return for that piece of paddock? It's sort of a.
It's what the market will say.
Yeah.
That's what we.
On a pro rata basis of the land she currently owns, it's about 29 grand. That'll be part of the process and discussions with it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, like, she's got use of that land as it is sits now. The two sections titled by the side are one set of rates now.
It'll be contiguous.
I was sort of just wondering what's the advantage to actually purchase that?
Currently, she is paying rates for each of the two titles on either side of the section to be stopped, both ORC and CDC. So she wants to.
Two separate titles.
Yep.
Are they contiguous with a road, a paper road, an unformed paper road goes through the middle of them? Can you call them contiguous?
They'll come up as one now for rating purposes.
They're one rating, aren't they?
They're on one valuation currently.
Yeah, so that's what I was, what, yeah.
She's not going to get any more UAGCs or anything like that. It's just a
No.
slight increase in land area and end value. So it wouldn't be a massive change in her rates anyway. We don't know. She's obviously asked for it through you, Your Worship. So all we're doing is actioning. She might have some plans for that area, and that requires her to own the whole thing. So we're only acting on the request from the customer.
Yeah, and I'm just wanting to sort of figure out what we get for that, sort of losing that. I mean, we've been selling sections, we've been developing sections of like Dungarees. They have some land packages, so we're getting somewhere near.
We are, aren't we?
Part of what it says will be
Yeah.
whether we get a valuation or whether we. There's a cost to getting a valuation, so we might look at a pro rata value of the land on the side. That'll be to be confirmed with the customer.
if there's no further questions, and remembering that we've got a 2.5 that will flow over to the others as well, but does someone want to get on move with it? Councillor Finch, followed by Val Wheeler, seconding. Any discussion? Put to the vote.
Aye.
Those against? Okay. Same again.
Thank you. Through the chair, I'll take it that item 5 is there. Taking question.
Questions on this one, and my apologies for being pedantic. It will be the first time ever I've rolled a heap in, so it might take a minute longer. Councillor Finch, you want a 2.5?
Yes,
Put in here,
sorry,
please.
more. Yeah, okay.
No specific questions, team, for this one?
Pretty much the same question, that's really, I suppose, on the same lines, it looks like a scrappy piece of land, but obviously it's advantageous for 36 to, is that a house that's coming in there?
Through your chair, he wants to add a shed in there.
Yeah, so he needs that corner. Okay, and then we've got protections in place for that natural, from looking at the picture, it looks like a natural stormwater sort of gully, and he's not gonna build that up to flatten that out to build into the shed to the boundary, or?
Yes, through your chair, we will leave a servitude in place to protect our stormwater assets.
Yeah, so the natural line.
Just an interesting point of history for councillors. 36 and 34, whereas our very first Kaitangata House and Land Package development on council land that was developed.
Yes.
Was that the one that we had to change because the land was unstable or something?
It's got a very big retaining wall there, 2 sections. They're the first 2 houses we built.
Good. Yeah, okay. A bit more money out the system. Any further questions? Who's moved, Bardell? Councillor Graham moved, Councillor Finch second. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against. On to number 6.
Through your chair, I'll take it that item 6 has been read. Taking questions.
Questions, team? If not, now that we've got number 5 in there, what are we doing?
Happy to move.
Councillor Finch, seconded by Councillor someone, Councillor Herbert. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against, thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
On to temporary road closures. Thank you. Are you making a declaration of interest or?
No, not on this one. Your worship, Mayor, councillor, I'd just like to table item 7 as read. Any questions?
Questions, Tim? Councillor Martin.
Thanks through you, worship. Craig, I'd had a couple of calls from a couple of the affected parties on from the Franklin Coffershell Road, and actually one of them picked it up reading today's minutes online, and there was only the one. There's a concern that there was only the one notice in the local Tuapeka Times, and there's only 6 people live in those affected areas, and in the past they've been notified by either a phone call or an email. And one of the other ones said that they normally get a mailbox drop from the car club, and they haven't had anything.
Okay, thank you. I'll follow
So,
that up. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
So they do, the car club is required to actually do a residence letter, so I actually visit the residents in person
yeah,
and talk to them, and that's actually quite important.
that's
And I'm surprised, maybe they just haven't done it yet, but I will make the phone call, because this is a new organising crew coming through. They're the same guys that did the Circle Hill Rally Sprint this year. And of course, this is as a dual rally sprint, is a step up from a rally sprint, and they are looking to reinstate the Lawrence Rally. So
yeah.
so we want them to learn to do it right. So I will follow up with a phone call just to.
I just took from the advice I received that a little bit more personal touch possibly
Yep,
would
absolutely.
have gone a long way, and there's not that many people on those
I think
roads.
in the past, the Lawrence Lions, Bill Baisley may have been quite involved in the Lawrence Rally and done those visits. So I will just, I'll I'll definitely make a phone call.
We get past it, it'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Further questions, Tim? Councillor McCoskey.
They're running both sprints on the one day, Frank.
They are, as a dual rally sprint, it actually operates like a two-stage rally, so they'll go from one section of road, like stage, straight into the next one before they come back, so they'll be both run at the same time. Yeah.
Who wants to do some moving? Councillor McCoskey move, Councillor Payne second. Any discussion? Put the vote, all those in favour?
Aye.
Those against, thank you. We've got one more, haven't we? Yes, we have. Same again, was it Craig?
Yeah, item 8, just again like to table that as read. That's the Coastal Classic Torrey Mouth, which is the long-standing community fundraising event.
Questions, Tim?
I'm happy to move. It's a really popular event. It's worthy of it.
Councillor McCoskey seconding. Any discussion? All those in favour? Those against? Thank you, Craig.
Another one yet?
Which one did I miss?
Like to see.
Where do I see Anna? Going from 7 to right. Hit me with it.
Okay, so this one's the Lake to Sea Trail Ride. Now, just to note on this one that the submissions haven't closed yet on this, so there's still potential for public submission. But given that we've never had an objection yet, it is unlikely. Just because of the tight time frame with this being the last council meeting and elections and things, we just got caught with a very tight time frame on this one. And the road in question is Coin Point Road, where there's only one person on it, and he's already given approval, so the user's land. So
Probably pedantically, but should we put a subject to as part of the clause, or I suppose if it doesn't happen, then the road wouldn't be closed, and yet it is.
if there's need to, I guess that's part of Steve's delegated authority. We can go to Steve if there's any objections, and we can deal with and resolve them.
Just roll with it. Councillor Finch.
Once again, I'm happy to move that. It went through our property for a couple of years and they're really responsible and it's for a great cause. And they do go and clean up afterwards, sort everything out. So I'm very happy to move that one. Thanks.
Seconded by Councillor Von Wheeler. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against. Thank you, Craig, this time. Right. Peter, welcome, Peter. Jules. Southern Water done well response to submitters. Sorry, Peter, just realised I was using the certificates as a net cap. Floor's yours.
Through you, your worship, I'll take the paper as read. No questions?
Thank you. Questions for Peter, please? Pretty straightforward, eh? No questions? Anyone got any discussion or I'll take the recommendations all at once if you want.
Never move.
Move Councillor Herbert, seconded someone else. Councillor Fox looks like he's gearing up. All those in favour? Those against. Thank you for that, Peter. You're getting let off with good behaviour. Well, not here yet. So what we'll do is we'll just roll 11 until the two recipients come, and we'll move out to the Cross Recreation Centre Accountability Report. Lily not here again. So we'll do number 11 and number 12. We'll roll over and we'll go to 13. Southern Water Done Well update. Steve.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is just a follow-on, given that it's the last council meeting, and so it was deemed appropriate to just give an update at the last meeting of where things have got to at this point. So I'll take the report as read for the update and can take any questions about it, Your Worship. I mean, work's not stopping over elections. It's continuing as you would expect. There's some work being done around determining the skill sets for the interim board chair. And the expectation would be that the recruitment process for that would be for the next council. So we're doing the homework for that and bringing it together for the new council as it comes through. So that's important. As chief executives, we're working to bring on a program director to take on all the transition related planning and building the transition team, which the objective is to have a transition team up and running by July next year. So there's a full 12 months of transition work that we can put into play. But time is moving really quickly, so these things need to happen. But otherwise, that's it, Your Worship.
Questions for Steve? Councillor Herbert, followed by
So Steve, would the first step be that you have the shareholder representation group, like the nominated councillors from each group to appoint these people, or would it be each? You just said before about the incoming council of each separate district, or would the representative group be the first thing that starts off?
Well, if the shareholder representative group isn't assembled, then the decisions will be made by the councils, right? Because councils are the shareholders. So one way or another, it will need to be determined by the new council in some form, right? But that work still has to be done with the new council around all that, all that setting up work that needs to be done, but there's no harm at all in full councils making decisions about things, right? Because the full councils are the shareholders.
Councillor McTamaney.
Yep, thank you. My question was just around that shareholder representative group as well. So there's been no work done as of yet as to the makeup of that.
There's been nothing beyond the original first principles, I think it was, that had been advised. So no, there hasn't.
Yeah, I'm fine with that because whoever's on council next time, the rural water schemes probably have to push for somewhere in that fight. That's for the next year.
It's going to be a tricky one, councillor, because we're the only ones with a water scheme.
It doesn't matter.
No. So they're not going to, let's say you have, we'll call it mayors, you have the 3 mayors and a water scheme representative that will give us 2 votes to their 1. I agree that quotas should be done.
No, it's not about voting, it's a representative. So it's for the next term.
Oh, yeah, off to the side of the, Further questions? I want to thank the group of councillors that have come. No sooner did you come to the meetings and it very much flipped from the political to the operational, and you start going through the churn and it defused. But I think it's important for the continuity that you're there, that you're picking up, because there's going to be questions like that coming through. So thank you for coming in. One interesting thing that's happened since September the 3rd was I did ring DIA with, you told us you're going to bang a few heads together. Who's the heads? And advice from the minister now is that they're going to focus on the positive stories and they will look at it in the new year. The new year is the election year. They're not looking at it. And if you actually think what's happened, there's 44 interim CEOs or project directors or managers being appointed in the next 6 months. When you appoint them, then you start having a conversation about which one of you is going to lose your job. It's not happening. We've been duped. I'm just so frustrated that when you can see the politics of it, that we're locking and loading at this one. Yeah. Councillor Cathwood.
Just on page 70, Steve, the financial contribution side of it, that 8.8 is over the three-way CCO, is that correct?
Yes,
It's the total that, is the only figure that's been used as a budget, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
I think, so I think the original was set up as 12, wasn't it?
12 or 13, I think.
Yeah,
originally,
12,
for the
13.
four counts.
And what's the, because is that a population split? Is that how they split? Because they get ring fenced. Is that, or is that just a straight third?
No, so ultimately that will be a cost to the CCO. That will then need to be recovered via revenue. It's charging, right? So we have no idea. It's not quite the same as saying, oh, that will be done automatically three-way or something like that. That is yet to be determined how that cost is going to be absorbed and charged. And that might form part of the initial parameters given by the councils to the CCO in terms of that transition cost. At the moment, it would be fair to say there's zero decision or direction on how that 8.8 would be disseminated. One way, you were right, might be divided equally amongst the three councils, but there's many other ways in which it might be done. The whole issue would be that needs to be determined, and we have influence.
So it's not being discussed.
And very much the ethos, Dane, has been that there's a time frame when we had to do what we had to do, but the decisions that can be made by the next council, so even that way, we should be mindful of the fact. So, but the details Simon mentioned and how you're mentioned, now they're details for the next council.
You would think it would be divided by three. Just saying it hasn't been.
And yet Gore might have other opinions. You know, there's going to be the tension because they'll be, holy heck, we're only half the size, double the double. But that's for the next slot to slug it out. Who's doing what? Got a recommendation there. We're just receiving the report. I'll move that. Can someone second that, please? Councillor Martin. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, cheers. Corporate review. Stephen Pate. Welcome back.
Not at all, thank you, Peter. I'll leave you with this one. Happy to help answer questions.
So through you, Worship, I'll take the papers read.
Questions, team? I've got a couple, Peter. So on page 74, the bottom one, what the heck may I say, district plan review, it's got that it's going to be possibly prior to the next election. Is that our election or their election? You say next October?
Prior to the national election.
National election, so there's a year. And then the second one on the next page, council to confirm review in September. Have we done that? Because September's now. So that's the financial review, finance and policy, GM.
So through you, Your Worship, if I may ask if you could just refer for me the action number on the left.
Number 7.
Thank you.
Number 7, and then the second of the bigger boxes of words.
I didn't want to print the whole thing for you, to save the paper.
Yeah.
So this is for the rates review you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes, so it's just got the council to confirm review in September. And I'm thinking, well, we're sort of in September.
That's the original one. The current status is in the previous column status report. So what we're proposing is to bring forward possible options for consideration in December, February this year.
Got you. Councillor Fund.
Thank you. And mine was item number 9, and it says about the voluntary targeted rates, broaden categories. Do you know what categories they're wanting to broaden by any chance?
Apologise, I'm not in a position to answer that question in detail, but I'll take it on notice if I may.
I can answer that question. Through you, Your Worship. There was things like the I&I work. We've had quite a few people say you can't do that because it's not currently an option to offer a VTR for that. We haven't been able to give that. So that's one example. And then, so there may be others between now and when we bring it back to you in the annual plan. But at the moment, unless it meets the criteria that's currently outlined, we can't offer a VTR.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. Thank you.
Right, any further questions? Councillor Martin.
Through you, your worship. Peter, afternoon. Peter, action number 13, the swimming pools review that's been delayed. I see you've got it down for the 31st of the 12th this year. We also see the visitor info centres is the 31st of the 12th, and the museums, which all of these were been on about since the annual plan. Is it actually achievable to have it done by the, because that's a lot of work there, to be expected to be finished on the 31st of the 12th of this year?
Your worship, and I might ask Mike to join us if necessary. That is a point of clarification you picked up I need to make. What we're proposing is to bring that to the workshop sessions in December, and that will then provide the directions for ongoing work. And the components of that are indicated in that status report.
Yet I was under the understanding there'd been quite a considerable amount of work already done on the swimming pools when Kelly was here, so it was pretty close to being finalised. So why would we need to workshop that again?
I'm not.
So the workshop will be around bringing to you, through your worship, bringing to you the progress or lack of progress on it. And so that's why you need to have the workshop. I mean, when a lot of work was done by Kelly, that's correct. But then Kelly left, and part of austerity was we never replaced Kelly, right? I was saving money and remuneration in terms of some key positions. So there's a number of things that have been impacted as a result of the fact that we didn't hire staff. And so our job is to bring, what is the updated status of these programs, bring it to you in terms of the workshop to determine where things are leading. And then the other part of that, which is again to be brought to you without preempting the discussion, but we have to be careful mindful that if we are going to be making suggestions around actual rating changes, like funding changes, because the swimming pools is an example of councillors. Some councillors are looking for particular funding or rating related changes. Well, rates are going to change significantly in 2027, right? And the whole way things are being rated is having to be looked at from a totally fresh perspective when the Three Waters goes. So when we're going to be, so one of the things that we'll be talking to you about in the December workshops is if we understand that, right, then we need to, the understanding the total rating picture. It won't be done, continuing with the existing budgets for this annual plan. Budgets are going to substantially change for the LTP. So when you're doing rating changes and other bits and pieces, the argument is we should be looking at what does it mean for everything in terms of where you're going, and it is a very appropriate time to do the homework to be able to understand the total rating picture, which you'll need to know for the LTP in 27. Right? I do recall a number of years ago when we tried to, when we did bring in our staggered funding changes, let's say the community funding areas, which was a significant change from where we'd done before. I remember submitters telling us, hey, you're doing it wrong, you shouldn't do it in isolation, you should be understanding the total picture. So we know the total picture is going to change in 27. Right? So that's the. However, you could decide otherwise at the December workshop. That's why it's important to have that discussion.
Although, and I appreciate your storatory measures, but in the meantime, while those measures have been in place, our swimming pools and museums have missed out. Because we talked about this 2 years ago and nothing's happened. So in the meantime, due to the storatory measures, our swimming pools and museums have missed out. So our communities suffer. That's the thing. So that's why I asked the question, is it achievable? We're actually going to get something, some traction done here. And my other action was number 30, the Chuapeka Aquatic Centre. Obviously, you've got that scheduled for March next year. Is that going to be a workshop? And then when the
annual plan or the long-term plan, annual planning process comes around, will anything actually be done before a decision on how we can help them? So that was all. Thank you.
So the Tuapeka, just to answer Tuapeka, no, there was a promise to work with the community group after the annual plan process we had. That's part of that promise. So whether or not something gets fed in as a consequence to the annual plan, there is an option to put it into the annual plan. It doesn't stop that work. It doesn't stop that option.
So that raises another question then. Has anyone communicated with them? Has anyone from council worked with the Aquatic Centre staff?
Not, my understanding is not yet. But now we can move on a number of those actions and prepare for it.
Gotta put the rules of the game in place before we play the game, eh? Councillor Cathal,
That's a good way of putting it. Thank you, Worship. So now that the Southern Water's done, well, the CCO's green-lighted, is staff going to make action straight away into that? We need to start calculating pretty much instantly into the new triennium what those sunken costs look like for the rating impact. So is the staff going to instantly, are they starting to transition and work now to bring that type of information to those workshops in December? Because it's obviously a lot of work.
Well, through your issue, it's not necessary for this annual plan.
No.
Right, because it's taken effect for the LTP.
Yeah.
Right? So absolutely the work needs to be done as to when does it need to be done. It doesn't have to be done for the annual plan. Right? Because it's not going to be applied in the annual plan.
27 before.
Yeah, but it is the future though, isn't it? It's where you're heading.
Yes, we have to have the budgets.
Yeah.
So, through your worship, we have to have the budget set for the CCO, even though we're not running the CCO, but that's the word transition work, right? So that involves a whole lot of things, including staff and other bits and pieces that belong here that need to be there. We need to factor in all those changes into our budgets as a consequence for the LTP, which includes the sunken costs and what we're going to do with those and things like that. They all need to be factored in. So this is what I mean by the rates and funding questions are fundamentally going to change through 27. And so when a number of these things we were talking about rating views, and if there's any significant rating reviews that we should be looking at, we really should be pulling them into that LTP, right? Because, year one next year or next year's annual plan is more of the same of now. Same pressures, same issues, same things, right? But year one of the LTP is a totally different financial picture. And we need to spend a lot of time to, the new council will have to do a lot of time spent on setting up the platform, the funding platform for the council without the three waters and all that it means. So things like fundamental reviews of if you want to change the way the swimming pools are funded or museums are funded, or lots of other things are funded, right? Even the community areas or things like that, or, everything's up for grabs to try and get a comprehensive funding picture and a rating picture. We should be doing that and making that work because it's all going to change. So if we're going to change rating maps, we should be changing it then as well and things like that. So it's quite a big opportunity and to feed it. And for the reviews, even though they may not be taking place like immediately in that sense, there's a couple of things. One is, if you understand that in December and you understand that perhaps you might be scheduling these for the LTP work, doesn't stop you making decisions in the interim to say, oh, well, we want to give some relief to community pools or something like that. You're perfectly entitled to still do that and give consideration to that. Doesn't stop you doing that at all. Or museums. If you want to put some more money in to do that, then you can do that side. Doesn't stop that because you know what the story is, right? So we're not stopping the discussion in there. We're just simply saying when we're talking about actual rating changes, rating and funding changes in that sense, those things should be done as a total and looked at in 27.
I just wanted to make the point that under the new Water Services Act, councils have been given that formed the CCOs, joint CCOs have been given the option to alter the UAGC for 5 years following 2027. So that probably means that we have a bit more flexibility than just having to line everything up in the next LTP. It's actually, you've probably got 2 long-term plans if you're going to make some real changes to the rating system. So we do have a bit of flexibility there. If we increase the UAGC to give them more time to review some of these things.
If that's you want to take.
Or reduce it. I'm seeing a lot of pensioners going bankrupt at the moment. I don't know how many more I want to put on the UAGC.
But you mightn't actually be changing the amount. The amount might be able to stay the same. But just the percentage will change, but the amount billed may still stay the same. It will. So there's some mess.
Councillor Vowell.
I was just, if there's no further questions, I was going to move the
Sounds good to me.
recommendation. I just acknowledge the amount of work that is being done and has to be done leading up to the annual plan and long-term plans.
Lots. Thank you for that, Bruce. So you've moved. Councillor Vowell has moved. Someone seconded. Councillor Graham seconded. Any discussion? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Thank you, Peter. All right, we'll start hauling. Confirmation of council minutes. There's a couple of them there. 6th of August, 13th of August. I'll move that they're true and correct. I have a seconder. Councillor Phelps. Any discussion? All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Sorry, a lot of pages to turn here.
102.
Boom. Corporate and Policy Committee. Same again. Who's moving? Councillor Vowell has moved. Councillor Catherwood seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Thank you. Infrastructure strategy and operations. As you were, Councillor Graham moves. Councillor Mackie seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Regulatory and community.
Moved.
Move Councillor Finch, seconded Councillor Herbert. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Risk and assurance minutes. Just before we do, I've got one comment, because when I was looking through here, and I just want to make it clear, because this is the report, the risk and assurance is now in effect our PCG meeting. And I started thinking of the ones that were mentioned in here: Balmoral, Tuapeka, Milton Main Street Pipeline Renewals, Milton Streetscape Mount Cowie, Milton Community Pool, and Three Waters. If effervescent young journalists like Richard Fair scrutinised me, am I in as sound a position as a politician with the background of those projects as I was when the PCG meetings were in place? No. The political arm is far more fragile for not being in, and there's got to be some change in format, and I know that it's going to be a matter for the new council and a discussion with Dave and Steve and what have you, but we're exposed. We haven't had that going to meetings, building up the residual knowledge, and if something went boom, you're in front of the camera the next day, no, the next minute. I haven't got the background on quite a few of these that we did have, so I just want to note that as a last chance, please. It's got to get looked at. Councillor Finch.
Thank you. I brought it up with our CE, and it's going to be looked at and brought in with the new council for those very reasons.
That's good, because someone has to happen. We're taking a step backwards. We're only noting it. Does someone want to get off on a strong note? Councillor Finch, seconded by Councillor Graham. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? How many we got? West Otago Community Board. Who's doing it? Councillor Herbert is. Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. All those in favour for noting it?
Aye.
Those against? Lawrence will be the next one. Yep. Councillor Martin, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Youth Council. Happy. Yep. Councillor Finch, seconded by Councillor Payne. All those in favour?
Aye. And just in saying that, I hope you've all noted that we're having Jazz Thornton, and everybody's got their tickets. It's on mental health, so that's coming up next month down at Tacoma.
Nice. Right out. And everything there. Is that over to my report? Is that the So yeah, couple of points of note. You'll see that there's been quite a few interviews for job opportunities, and we've made a new appointment to replace Kellen, so that's great. You'll also see 12th of September that I attended a shop opening in Tapanui. Kylie Dawes, remember Kylie came and spoke at the careers evening. She's the motorbike champion, human dynamo. She's opening her store, but she didn't do it on the 12th. She's going to do it this Saturday at 10 o'clock. It's been cancelled. Rightio. I was just going to say she's a human dynamo, so we've had an update on that. And other than that, I honestly thought this month was meant to be cruisy. I did 3 months of electioneering 15 years ago, and I was meant to get time off for good behaviour, but I haven't quite turned into fish and chip paper yet, but I can feel it coming. That's all my report. I'll move around the table, starting with Councillor Kennedy.
So apart from the usual meetings, also did the thing by zooming into Southern Water done well. Quite interesting. But, yeah. Picked up the tab there, like Dane has done, and yeah, quite interesting watching the dynamics with people on it. But yeah, apart from that, just the usual.
Remember that?
Oh, it was quite interesting listening to them before the meeting. Yeah.
Michelle, thank you. Councillor Phelps.
Thank you, Worship. Pretty quiet. Just usual committee meetings. Had a meeting with, I assume, with Sport Clutha, but other than that, it's been pretty quiet.
Cheers, thank you, Wayne. Councillor McTamaney.
Yep, similar, just the meetings, campaigning, and then drop it. And then
Go to the finish line. Thank you, son. Councillor Finch.
Thank you. August the 11th, combined museums. The 12th, Clutha Foundation Trust. The 13th, Waihola Looking Forward AGM, which went really well. The 14th, Otago Museum Audit Finance Risk. The 18th, Youth Council. The 28th, the Risk and Assurance here, and then Otago Museum Board after that. The 29th, Daffodil Day that I volunteered for us. September the 2nd, meet the candidates in Milton. The 3rd, Clutha Foundation Trust, and it was for the grant funding. The 10th, the Otago Historical Society, and then Milton Area Promotions AGM that evening. The 16th, Community Liaison, and then Waihola Looking Forward. And the Youth Council is October the 16th that I said about down at Tacoma. So please all get your tickets and support us.
Thank you, Gainer. Councillor McCluskey.
What have we had? Standing committees. We're all looking forward to two meetings here. AGM is normal meeting. Tory Communities. A couple of trips to see some ratepayers over there. Went to Mark Patterson's meeting down at the rec centre, and to meet the candidates evenings. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Dan. Councillor Payne.
Thanks, Your Worship. Yeah, so same as everybody else, all the standing committees, risk and assurance. I did one Waihola Looking Forward meeting. Age concern, Tyree amenities. I've been to the MSD meeting the other night with you, Your Worship. And I've been on the campaign trail. We've had 3 candidates nights, and Jock and I, and we also had an afternoon with Grey Pair. And other than that, I've been doing the South and Water Done Well Friday meetings as well.
Thank you, Ken. Councillor Grant.
Kai promo and the normal stuff. I went to the New Zealand First public meeting. I don't know why. A couple of the candidates meetings, and what puzzled me was the number of candidates compared to the number that went to the candidate information meeting. So I just wonder how many of them that are standing actually know what they're in for. But anyway, And I did go to the Clutha Development AGM, but I had the right time and the right day, but it was just a month early.
Better early than never, yeah. Thank you, Bruce. Councillor Herbert.
Thank you, Worship. Not a lot, just the West Oak Community Board and a catch up with Councillor Kennedy himself and local ORC councillor. There was a bit of an issue in Tapanui, but that seems to all be sorted. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Councillor Mackie.
Just the usual council meetings that I went to, and it's been pretty quiet in Clifton. I'm not standing, so I'm like campaign.
Fish and chip paper, eh? Thank you, Brent. Councillor Ludeman.
Clutha Parks Trust meeting, Rec Centre meeting, Daffodil Day collection.
Thanks, Sally. Councillor Mountain.
Job opportunities meeting, community board meeting, Te Marawatua meeting, risk and assurance, standing committees, water scheme meeting, council, a bit more Te Marawatua, and all the other community organisations that have been delegated to Simpson Park. Various ones say sport for choice.
Thank you, John. Councillor Vowell.
Thanks, Your Worship. Just a couple of monthly board meetings, the AGM last month, their monthly meeting last Tuesday, Tauranga Community Society earlier this month, and the Otago Corrections Community Liaison meeting.
Thank you, Bruce. Councillor Catherine.
Council, Southern Wollongong Well teams, including those, have been quite interesting. Committees, which I missed in person, but via Zoom, I'd just like to make a note that the noise quality is not very great.
We heard you snore. It was terrible noise quality
from within the chambers, so that is something that would need to be addressed if the councillors to attend via Zoom. It's very difficult. I enjoyed I went to one of the candidate meetings, and there was a large amount of candidates standing, so it was quite entertaining. It's me.
Thank you, Dan. Can we have a look at that staff? If I've never been on a Zoom meeting into here, but can we have a dummy test, find out if there's something we can do, because it seems to be a bit common. And can I thank everyone for pushing on to the finish line? That's a good effort, right up to the end. So thank you, Councillor Herbert.
I'll just add to Dane that I was on a wee while ago when I was away, and I'm not sure if you agree, Dane. It's kind of lolly papers, it's page turning, it's sort of pens clicking. It's kind of a lot of noise other than the voices that you hear. It's a lot of scrunching, and it's just it's hard to. I'm not sure whether it's a microphone. I'm not tech with it at all, but it seems to be a lot of background stuff. Wouldn't you agree that
you can hear yeah.
It's the lolly papers from this side of the room that seem to be the big
It's not constructive, put it that way.
It's all that staticky stuff. You can't. It's sort of rubbish noise coming through.
Through you, Your Worship, too, we have also noted that the new triennium will be moving a lot of the councillors closer to the microphone, and hopefully we can be around the microphone, the big square with the green light on it. Yes, and that way everything will be a lot closer, and hopefully that'll be better, but that won't necessarily fix those other ancillaries. Speakers.
Going to be like sitting around the campfire.
Maybe.
Hey, anyway, I do mean to keep on going right to the finish line. That's appreciated. So got the report that there. I'll move it. Someone second to Phelpsy. You're on fire today, mate. All those in favour? Those against? Chief Executive's reports.
Thank you, Your Worship. We'll take the report as read. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Tim? If not,
You've lost a few people. I see that Daniel Pickup. Is he the guy that come from Tamanara? Why? Plus, I see he's leaving.
He used to work for Te Mataroa. He didn't come to us from Te Mataroa.
Right.
Yeah, no, there is.
Probably all I should say is don't make any conclusions or draw any conclusions from lists of staff either coming or There is always individual stories and reasons for things. They are not all the same reason. So very hard to draw conclusions, or shouldn't draw conclusions. And I can't, for example, say much about anything, the results. So it is what it is, but we shouldn't draw conclusions about the quantum.
Okay, we've got a report there with a recommendation. Someone want to move? Councillor Herbert moved, Councillor Payne seconded. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Then I'll do documents for consent and seal. Someone seconding for me? Councillor Wheeler. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Now, we've still got 2 items that are public.
15
And we've
minutes,
got
you wish.
15 minutes. So what we're going to do, because I also forgotten the councillors that are leaving have a chance to do their victorious speech or their whatever. I'll do that between open and closed public so that Richard can get all the snippet quotes from those of you out there that are, like, I've given you half an hour to prepare, mother. You should have known it would be happening. But we're going to adjourn the meeting now because the Telford students aren't here and someone else is. Crossrec people aren't here for another quarter of an hour. So let's have some smoko, and when they get here and you've had a couple, we'll come on back. You notice how efficient I'm getting at running on a meeting? Everyone, I'm going to talk slowly so that Councillor Ludeman has more time to write notes. Because she's given me jippo that I didn't warn her that there was a valedictorian speech come out of it. Just do it naturally, Mother. It'll just come. You'll be fine. I'll call the meeting back to order. Welcome back, everyone. And look, as every year, it's a real privilege for us, our jewel in the crown, Telford Farm. Year after year produces good young farmers heading off with a whole life in front of them, and a couple of special people that it's our privilege to help along the way have come here to get the certificate. If I've got the cheque, I've probably already spent it, so I hope the money's in your bank account and not mine. But team, could we please welcome Arabella Saunders and Caitlin Perkins up to the... Caitlin, congratulations, well done. I'll give you your certificate, and Arabella, well done. Hold on, turn it the other way. Now I have warned them, team. I don't know who's going first, but one of the things we really love about Telford Bursary is we get to know hopes and dreams, where they come from, what they got up to at Telford. Well, maybe not everything that you got up to at Telford, but what you want to tell us. But the floor is yours, and congratulations.
So I'm Kate Perkins, and I just want to say a massive thank you for giving me this opportunity to take some financial stress off my studying, so I can focus more on my grades and being an overall good student rather than spending my time trying to find out the next tuition payment. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Manawatu Wanganui, Turkana Valley Road, and I'm off a sheep and beef farm up there. And I am a national level cross-country, track and field and road runner, as most of you already know. And I have continued running down here for the local Hill City University Club in Dunedin. And this scholarship has allowed me to continue to just focus on my running and my study so I can just be overall happier, and give me the opportunity to just knuckle down and do it. Next year, or actually at the end of my studies here, I plan on moving to Christchurch. Got a flat sorted out, got a job sorted out, work over the holidays, and then go into Lincoln and study my farm management. So I have 2 diplomas in agriculture, so that I can hopefully go on and do something productive and good for the community in that aspect. But yeah, I just want to say thank you again for giving me this opportunity, and I really appreciate it.
Well
My name's Arabella Sanders, and thank you guys so much for this scholarship. It actually means a lot because I've been struggling with money this year, and trying to find money to feed my little mutt that I've got running around in Telford. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Christchurch. Not from a farming background, so I got into it when I was about 16, and then kind of decided from there that's what I wanted to do, and then decided, well, through a mate, he was like, hey, you should come down here and study, and I was like, sure thing, why not? And so I'm here now, and I'm loving it. Telford's a great place for young people who want to get into farming, and I'm in my first year doing the certificate in agriculture. I think it's a really good opportunity for young people. And it's not much else about me really, just a townie, I suppose. Thank you so much again for the scholarship, and it's going to really help me finish my year strong.
Just before you go, guys, is there any questions? Once again, can I say well done? To think that we can actually come and say it from here, that it makes a difference to you. Thank you, because we wonder, what the heck, what's going on. It's great to know that 2 good young people were given a handle on the way, and very best for your future. Secure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Councillor Looney.
Just before you finish, girls, I'd just like to thank you both very much for the way you presented when we did the Telford Bursary interviews. You both presented well and you deserve the certificate you've got, and best wishes to you as you go forward.
Thank you so much.
Don't you sound proud? Well done. Right, our team, we've got a couple of recommendations way back on page 58. Just that we received the Telford Bursary and we note the allocation of the recipients. Move Councillor Payne, second, and Councillor McCroskey. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Thank you. Over to number 12, Cross Rec Centre Accountability Report, headed off by Lily. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. Welcome, team. Can I say while you're on the way up here, we had a TV1 crew down on Monday and we went through the Cross Rec Centre as one of those pieces of the jigsaw to why Cluth is a vibrant place to live. And TV1 couldn't believe the facility, and as always, the staff were great ambassadors on your behalf. So, yeah, it's a tonic to be able to take, where do you take a TV1 crew? To the positive places. So thank you for that.
Through your worship, I'd just like to formally introduce Simon and Craig up, who will be presenting the report.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, I'm Simon. I'm chair of the Cross Rec Centre Committee, and we've got Craig here who's not got a sport clue to head on today. He's on the Rec Centre Committee as well. Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity to give you an update. Hopefully you guys have seen the accountability report we sent through. So I won't go into too much of that. Basically, yes, the last sort of 6-12 months has been quite a challenging time for us just at the Rec Centre with rises in our operational expenses and some losses in income. But committee and Nolan and the staff have been working really hard to look for opportunities to increase that income and also reduce our expenses. So yeah, we're doing what we can. You might have seen in the report there's a couple of new events that we're that the staff have organised in the last wee while, sort of food truck evenings, which done one of those so far. It was really successful, and looking at running a few more of those over the summer. And also the winter market, which went really well a month or two ago. Yeah, so that's sort of a couple of events just to get a different range of people through the Rec Centre, and yeah, just get people through that might not have been in the building before, and just sort of see what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, so we're hoping to work with the council in the next annual plan process to assess our funding going forward. And yeah, that's basically about it. Thanks for your continued support, and both of us are more than happy to answer any questions.
Questions, team?
Just worship, just before that, just to follow on from that, we are scheduling workshop on the Cross Rec Centre op funding and diploma op funding. I think they're two important topics that we are scheduling in. So as usual, sometimes we do these things in advance of the annual plan process, so it's not done through a submission process after the event. I think these are important operational funding items as well, so they are going to be part of the work prior to going for consultation. So just be aware of that. Cross and diploma will be both subjects.
Questions, team? Questions, discussion, whatever you want. Councillor Herbert.
Nice to see you guys. Hey, so what happens in May that peaks the foot traffic thing the way it does?
There's netball season with trainings and the Friday night.
It just shoots up for the month.
Massively, yeah. And I guess that's something that the committee is trying to work through at the moment, is getting people through that door from that September to March period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Further questions, team? It's funny, when I was down with the TV crew the other day, and I was thinking back to when we had wee kids and we're living down at Clifton, and you come all the way into netball, and the courts were frozen and the wind was going that way at about 100 miles an hour. And you could either stand there and lose your will to live, or netball was cancelled and the competition was fragmented. And I've always seen the rec centres, it's great to have them about places, but it's not, for me, it was that person driving in from Clinton, Waka, wherever, to know that your sport's on, to know that you've got like, it's been pumping. Every time you go down to the rec centre, it's got that vibe and pump, and just keeping in the pain on the butt that I'll be for next year's annual plan. I will be coming back to see you to promote good things in our district like this and to spend the money where it's needed. Unfortunately, I won't be here to vote on it, but I'll try and influence the vote. Councillor Ludeman.
I just, on behalf of, as the council rep on the Cross Recreation Centre, I'd actually like to congratulate you on the work you and the team, staff that you do. And my suggestion is keep liaising strong with council. I won't be here to support us around the council table, but I do intend to stay on the rec centre supporting. The rec centre actually needs the whole district behind them, and I probably, why I'm making this comment here, it was built for the whole district to use, and you know, it's a really good sporting hub that our district's got, and I think it would be really good for that the whole district gets behind the rec centre. I mean, whether it's by using it or whether it's by sponsorship or just support, renting, you know, you might want to have a meeting. They've got rooms. I think, you know, we need to stop and think sometimes about the great facility we've got, and it's the old story, if you don't, you know, you use it, you'll lose it kind of thing. So I'm kind of probably highlighting the need right now that the whole of the district actually supports the rec centre, because we really need it. They do a great job. So just my comment.
Thank you.
Cheers, team. Anything else for Craig or Simon? If not, we're going to thank you guys. We've got that recommendation, and thank you for coming up and taking your time. Lil, what did you do? Personally, nothing. But thank you. Excellent.
You have a pretty face there. Come on.
So, hey, what are you saying? The guys haven't got pretty faces. That's insane.
Sorry, guys.
So, Ali gets the last say. Who's going to get the last recommendation? On your marks, get set, go. Move Councillor Ludeman, seconded Councillor Mackey. Quick off the mark. All those opposed? Aye. Those against. So, what I'm doing, guys, is this is the demarcation line between kicking the public out. So, while there's a chance for the leavers to say their farewells, there's also, at the end of that, there will be a chance if anyone else wants to comment on the triennium. But I thought, I did a rough calculation of the 5 leavers hours. If you take the meetings that we've had, and if they average 5 hours, collectively it's 9,375 hours. Thank God, we're finally getting out of here, ain't we? 9,375, that's quite a few hours. I'm going to take it, because we've got to move up the hierarchy, and then Wheeler's been here continuously longer than me, so he gets the last say. Don't know who made that rule, but I suppose I'll have to make it now, so we'll give him the hierarchy. But Brent, if you would like to say a few words as a parting gesture to the...
Do I just stand here and do it?
You're more than welcome to sit. It's your livestreams.
Stand on the desk.
Oh, I've really enjoyed the 3 years. I haven't enjoyed the bomb drops of paper sometimes, about 5 or 7 days before we have a big meeting. And I haven't enjoyed when we turn up at a meeting and my aim has been we're going to save money for the ratepayer, we're going to save money, and there's a $3.5 million overrun on a water scheme, you know, that we have to deal with all of a sudden. And but I thank John, because he helped me in my early stages when I couldn't even navigate through here properly. And I thank Bruce for his kind remarks and encouraging me. Times I wore, thanks Bruce, and Ken, and just all you other guys, and I wish as well. But I also learned that irrespective of the decisions that we make in here, the money's won and lost through there. And most of that's out of our control. So we need to tighten up on the contract so that you can't drive a bus through them. And cut them down from about 500 pages to 12, so we can all read them and keep track of everything. And go back to the way things were years ago. Keep it simple, stupid. Anyway, thanks very much for the good 3 years. Thank you.
Herbie and Mother, you can work it out between yourselves who's next. Ladies first, does it? Oh, stand it.
I'll stand too. Yeah, 9 years, it's been quite a ride really. 9 years here as councillor and about 10 years previous as an employee. So a long time around this table in various ways and met a lot of really great people along the way and worked with a lot of interesting characters, watched councillors go to sleep some and everything else, but it's been all part of it. I have one or two, I actually want to thank I had two nominators that nominated me for the 3 elections that I stood for, Betty Sooners and Stephen Cornier, and I always have looked up to both of them. They actually showed faith in being able to sign a bit of paper for me, and I really appreciated that. I would say about Betty, if I've been sick, she just about knows I've been sick before I do and usually comes to visit. So, yeah, great friends. I think about when I was on here first time as a first-time councillor, sitting to my left was John Cochrane, and he actually passed on a lot of good advice, and I always respected his comments. John, we still haven't got the rating for toilets quite right yet, but who knows, the next council may. Another one I think of in that first triennium was Rachel Jenkinson. And Rachel and I used to chew the fat often before meetings. We were both new, we would both catch up and have a talk about what was on the agenda. And it wasn't that we made decisions, you know, it was really we learnt together. And it's a shame that she didn't stay on, and perhaps one day she might come back. I'd actually like to thank Steve and his team. You know, we might get grumpy sometimes with what they present with us to deal with, but actually we haven't really thought about what they've gone beforehand to bring it to here. I really do thank the whole team for the way they've supported me anyway in my time here. My highlights, Telford Bursary Committee, which we've had here today. I've been on the interview panel for that since I've been on council, and when I was a staffer, I used to go with the councillors down and do that. So I've kind of been part of that, and I've always enjoyed watching the Telford students come through. Building of Topoma. Well, that has to be a highlight, doesn't it? Because what a great community facility we've got. Luther Parks Trust, I'm really proud of what they've done, and I hope I can stay on that committee and continue till we get that finished, because I think what they've done down there has been great for our people. Luther Development, well, I've enjoyed my time there. As you know, I've always been supportive of them, and I would like them to stay as we need them in their district for what we can't get done. And I guess they were highlights. The downsides is actually what central government's put on us and we've had to deal with in probably the last 6 to 7 years, and the changes that Tamatahara have put on us and the decisions we've had to make and the angst in the community because some of the decisions we've had to make, that actually, it really has hurt sometimes, because I feel as though I've put a lot of time and effort into my research, and every time I have voted for the ratepayer. They might not think so, but I have. I firmly believe we've gone in the only direction we had really open to us, but that's just my personal opinion. So on that, I'll call it a day, but actually it is all about community. That's why I've been here. That's why I've enjoyed it, and I will find other ways to support my community. So thank you.
Actually, I thought we were going to invite us if we smoke. I probably made the wrong decision because we were here otherwise. So that was really nice. I will miss a lot of this, and particularly the people that are involved in it. There's some really good people in this. Councils, staff, and everyone. There's some fantastic people, and just like to thank some of them. The people in this room that we sit around this table with, the councillors, those retiring, my fellow retirees. I wish you all the best for the future, and thank you for your commitment in the past. We've sat here and we've maintained friendships and integrity and all got along, and we don't go away harbouring any ill will, and I think that has to be maintained to foster a good decision-making process at the next meeting, because you come with an open mind and a fresh mind. So to my fellow retirees, I wish you all the best. To those standing, good luck, and you'll either see me at every annual plan or long-term plan, or you'll never see me again. I haven't quite decided on that yet. Because I've done 9 years as a councillor and 9 years on community board, so been around a little while. And to the staff, and starting with you guys at the top table, Steve and Jules, thank you for your advice, the agendas, and all that goes with that, and the work. We have to read it, but you guys have to write it, so we forget that sometimes. So thank you, Steve, for your guidance and your help and your calm demeanour, and bring us back on track sometimes when we start to drift off and worry about $5 when we're forgetting about the $5 million that we should be thinking about. Jules, I'm not sure how long I've known you, but before I was even on community board of water schemes, I think that was to do with the Marflat Reserve Reservoir, when it was just about empty about 21 or 22 years ago, from memory. So a long association, but thank you to you guys. And also, it's nice for Linda and Donna to be in the room, because we have a lot to do with those people too. And a special thank you to those and all those actual, the staff that answer our questions and answer our emails, because I've said to a lot of the public, or a lot of you guys even, it might not be the answer people want, but at least it's an answer. And when you explain things to them, they go, oh, okay, I understand it now. I might not agree with it, but at least I understand it. So it's really do appreciate the feedback and all the work that's done. I've never really stood on any particular issue, because I don't think that's productive, because if that issue doesn't go your way, you get it solved, what do you do then? I've always come along and tried to maintain honesty and integrity, and vote on the information provided and the best thing for the ratepayer. I'll debate those decisions with anyone any time, so I've stood here with honesty and integrity. Probably a couple of things that just spring to mind, and without highlighting things, is probably Patterson's Creek and the Kelsey Settlement Road. Patterson's Creek, there's a lot of people online tend to have a view on it that don't know much about West Otago, but that issue went on for generations. The issue went back 150 years. No one had solved it. This council solved that problem. That was a major issue. A small highlight, and actually it's great when I sit on with Councillor Phelps, is the Sports Rural Funding Committee. And some of the feedback that we get on that committee, how it's actually impacting on kids' lives and making an advantage, is really money well spent. A couple of people I'd like to thank, probably my trusty co-pilot and travel assistant and all-round good friend and good councillor, Councillor Kennedy. We spend a lot of time talking about a lot of things in the car, and we'll miss those rides, but still maintain that friendship. So looking forward to that. And probably the late Peter McPherson. A lot of you will know Peter McPherson, but he was a person that I admired. I valued his opinion, and he spoke sense, and didn't matter whether he ruffled a few feathers doing it. So he was a good person and someone I looked up to. But look, I wish you all the best for the future. Please maintain your integrity and honesty and politeness with everyone concerned. Everyone's trying their best every day, so I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
I was the only one that came prepared, and now I'm totally unprepared. So, I came here, I think, as a cross between Councillor Catherwood Martin and do I dare say it?
The love child, those two.
No, I won't say the other one who's standing in an election, but not a councillor yet. And I'd probably leave as the next Jerry Eckhoff. So, I've loved my time here. There's no two ways around it, and I've been so lucky. I do, like John, I want to go back first to the old people that sat around the table that probably, you know, like I was a pain in the butt when I first came here. I know I was. Ones like Councillor what's his name? Collins. Boy, Councillor Collins could tell me off, so could Councillor McPherson, Councillor Scanlon, Councillor, what was that one from up Hillian Way? Roberts. They all had their go at me, but I wore them down in the end. But quite defining, I think, for me was so there was a few defining points for me, and one was to go away for 3 years and have a look in the mirror. So I left as a councillor after 9 years, came away and probably had to redefine myself because the belligerence that was there was never going to work as a mayor. And in all honesty, I put my name forward as a mayor more to challenge myself. And I ran once and got a kick in the butt and expected to get a kick again. And came in with a fair bit of imposter syndrome. I can remember getting these on. No one would put them around my neck, so my wife had to do it myself. And that was a bastion of fire, that one. But I've been so lucky. I think that the ones that, so another defining point was when Steve came along for me, to have someone that could endure my conversations, somehow untangle them and then put them back into a cohesive, articulated form of what my hopes and dreams were. And Steve, I'm not going to start picking out personal names, but I have to say to you, you did articulate the dreams you did put up with me, and we did get there. It was meant to be the rugby coach, rugby player, or whatever it is. And I think for the district, without your vision, you know, we went within such a bloody spirit of getting it right. When Steve reorganised the Nico account, we started gathering the communities in and lifting them from the base. 6 or 7 years ago, you wouldn't have got a better blueprint than that. We were pumping it from the 2 or 3 million that came off the rent, off the interest. And that TV1 crew, when I went around, and I didn't get to go all around, but all the district, but I did take them to Kai. And you start going around thinking back to what would a Kai been if it wasn't for Joyce Beck and E. Dick and Dallas and picking it up from the base, and then to stand in Topoma and think what a godforsaken kicked in outfit Belcluta would have been without the main street, without Nash Park, without the Rec Centre, without Topoma. What a bloody skyrocket going that way we would have been. And there's things that, and I do want to thank you, Steve, because that vision of being able to, the living and working strategy, the dreams here to turn it into the structure. I want to thank the wider organisation, because I know that those 4% rate caps on that, they had some unintended consequence and some unintended pressure. And I have been saying in recent times it was my vision to initiate it, my belligerence to keep it going, and my ignorance to finish it off, and it was. And there was many around the table that held to my 4% rate cap, probably despite your best. You might have had difference, but you held in there with me, and I still look back and I think it was the right thing at the right time to try and those social and financial agendas that we had going on. We almost got it right, but we're going to be proud of the things that we've done, of the organisation that got in behind us and gave us the ability to put some of our community's hopes and dreams. It hasn't worked out right. From this 3 years, this has been the hardest 3 years as a mayor that I've had. I should have been right at the top of my game, but it's hard. When you're winning a game of rugby, let's all go running in this direction, but it's hard to go, let's run in this direction. Finally, you get your butt kicked in that direction. And I want to thank you all for, we're not meant to agree. Democracy's got nothing about agreeing. It's about battling it out, coming from an informed decision, but most importantly, it's to hold on to your hopes, your dreams, your values, and your principles. And while we've disagreed, each and every one of you, I know from I can guess where you're going to vote, and that's fine by me. You've held by your values and principles, and that's all I've ever asked of you to do. Funnily enough, I do want to focus on that actually, because I look at other councils, and some of them, it's just like, I'll get Joyce Beck and I'll go and put half of yours over in there and she can give you a paddling. We've always held together. Richard might have wanted to chip away. No, well, not Richard, but yeah, the desire to find the chinks in the armour. Sometimes they've been there, they're meant to be there. But we've stayed true to the wider objectives. And we've stayed, like John said, I know where John's always going to vote. He'll vote on his honour and on his integrity. And that means a lot for a functioning council and functioning democracy. So for this 3 years when we got challenged the most, I want to thank you for holding together. We've rattled. You know, it's naive to say that we haven't rattled. We're meant to rattle. We're under a bloody heap of pressure. I look at the achievements. I think that living and working strategy and we had the plan. It's frustrating that probably due to Three Waters that it hasn't worked out. I think for me, from a personal thing, there was never, I was real proud to lead Minister Mahuta's working group. But when you go up to Wellington and you try as a brainless shearer to get things going and run with the big boys, but we managed to do it. And actually, I look back now, and some of them that were banging on, we were right. We had it right from the start. We told them where the figures were. So that was definitely an achievement to have that Three Waters. It'll be a lifetime sort of a thing to know the Three Waters for what it is and to have been in the middle of it. I did have delusional hopes and dreams of becoming a local government commissioner, but my recent comments and articles in the newspaper might have been career defining. So I don't really know what the future has, but I know that I'll leave here. Like I said the day before, it's hard to walk off the rugby paddock happy when you just had your butt kicked 50-0 or something, but all right, we gave it our best shot, and there is a lot of things that we can be proud of. Despite, I look at the debt and I look at the interest, and I have analysed, you get critical of yourself. What move would we have made that would have made 1 ounce of difference? There's a lot that's been decided for us, and the challenge moving forward for the 9 councillors that are going to be sitting around this table, the hill's only getting steeper. It's coming on. Most of you will know it. What is it? 8,500 job opportunities, jobs. 850 of them are ours. So I've got that tattooed to my shoulder. The Anna and Edie and Keelan entered me until I did it, and that'll be a lifetime one to go away with the 850. That's something that's dear to me. I think I'm doing really good. I haven't cried. This is the third farewell speech. This is the first one I'm not going to cry. There is one thing that's different though. The other 2 times I have been drinking, so maybe that was what it was. To the organisation, to Steve, Jules, to all of them, I want to thank you for hanging in there under. We know there's a lot of pressure on, and then there's the old, there's that, not the disconnect, but we are political and you are operational. And we respect you and we thank you for the efforts that you've put in. The ripple effect of the community's anxiety that comes onto you is unjustified. We make the decisions. We should front up, and that's ours. But I want you to know that all of us, we thank you for the work you do. We thank you for the crap you put up with when you go out into the public. It's part of the joy of being on And I also want to acknowledge that special relationship we have that I can go through, and any one of us can go through, because that doesn't happen in many councils. And I tell all of you, please, we've got to really treasure that as a councillor, for you to be able to walk through and talk with staff, build up the relationship, go and try that somewhere else. You'll find the doors shut. So, what else? What am I missing? My girl, I had to thank my wife. Do remind others, because she's put up with a fair bit of crap from me. Well, not crap, but she's had to listen to a lot of speeches like this. Sure. We're about to go to volley soon, but to everyone that, because the five of us that know we're going, we're in a far better place than you. We know we're going, but to those of you that don't know whether you're going or not yet, all the best for the elections. I know that they're going from 14 to 9, and it's not something that we've talked about as a group. It's something that had to happen in the evolution of council, and I know that many are using the election. It's a critical component to your hopes. I sort of apologise, and I don't at the same time, but I do genuinely mean it, that I wish you as well for both staff and to the politicians for that next 3 years, because I'm looking forward, as we always should. It's going to be challenging. Whoever missed, someone help me out here. No, that's probably got me. We got the 3rd of October. That time I will be drinking, so watch out. Surely everyone, I really appreciate it. Bruce?
I think it's all really been said, so I think I could just sit down again.
That won't be you.
Let's see. I wasn't expecting to say anything today, because I do know we've got another meeting in about three weeks' time, is it? Approving a long-term plan. It's an official council meeting, so I thought it might be a farewell there, but no speech there perhaps. But council's obviously been very hard, because if you look at those photos up there, just not so long ago, there's a young chap, relatively young chap with all his hair and it's dark coloured, and now most of the hair's gone and it's turned grey, so it's very stressful. Now, I've enjoyed my time in council, 24 years. Hard decision to step down. And some of the highlights, I guess, going back a wee bit earlier than some of the things that have been mentioned, getting some of our major roads sealed from the southern scenic route through the Catlins. That was a big one, and also the road over to Torrey Mouth, ones that I remember there. And we even had a protester there, standing there with a sign when we did the ribbon cutting for the one at Torrey Mouth, because her street at Torrey Mouth wasn't getting sealed. So that was entertaining. A living and working strategy, and that's, I think, has been a really big one. It's all about decision making at this table. That's been really helped move the council in a forward direction as well. The changes since I came on council, for a start, they brought in the Local Government Act into 2002, and that changed really how our decision making. We went from just going from annual plan to annual plan to developing long-term plans over 3 years, and it's put a lot more focus on the governance we have to do, that councillors have to do around this table. It's also meant a lot more reading too in that time. There's a lot more we've had to take on board. My time has gone from every councillor had a fax, and perhaps before a meeting, fax might sort of spring to life once or twice, and a few pages would get churned out, just get the agendas in the mail, and there'd be a few added pages, and it wasn't too hard to read. It wasn't time consuming, but now, well, Brian mentioned the amount of hours we've put into meetings, be at least the same amount of time that goes into the reading we do before our meetings as well. I do remember when council, and early in my career here at council, decided we needed a property committee. And there's another young councillor there at the table, and we went to afternoon tea and said, Brian said to me, I'd quite like to be on that. And I said, I'd quite like to be on that committee too. So we went back after afternoon tea. He nominated me for that committee, and I nominated him before any of the older, wiser councillors get their nominations. And so we ended up in that committee of, I think it was Councillor Collins. Yeah. I also remember with admiration too, a lot of those old councillors who have been mentioned, Pete McPherson, Wayman Rowan, Norm Hewitt. I'll miss out names and I shouldn't do, but people who helped shape us and very much common sense there. Obviously, staff, big thanks to staff. Hard to mention names. I won't mention Chief Executive, Steve. So I think without Steve, we probably wouldn't have our working plan, strategy. When we appointed Steve, he recognised what we needed for this district if we're going to make progress. Really pay tribute to that, to Steve for that. To Jules, you've been just that amazing fountain of knowledge there, particularly with rural water schemes. It's been great to have you there, so thanks there too, Jules. But also to all other staff, really appreciate the guidance that you've given us, the patience you've had with us at times, really acknowledge that. I must acknowledge all my fellow councillors here as well. So, as been mentioned, we don't agree on everything. We don't go away sticking knives into backs or even fronts, as some councillors do. So it's been great working with you all. I appreciate that too. To my community, the Bruce Ward community, big thanks to them for supporting me, even those who didn't vote for me. Came to that, that's by the by. And I pay a particular tribute to those community groups. I'm thinking of the likes of Wahola Looking Forward, Tyrone Mouth Amenity Society, museum groups, all those groups, Milton Area Promotions, Project Bruce, those groups who really do make a difference. They get in and do things, they get stuck in. Whereas sometimes you do get sick of people who complain, but don't really have any involvement in the community at all. And I hope I've pretty much covered everything. Obviously, of course, I must thank my wife, who's probably been able to support me doing this role in many ways. She's been very patient. It's been, you're going out again tonight? What time do you want tea? That sort of thing. And so good to be able to spend more time with her and the family. I'm going to, as soon as this meeting's over today, I'm actually hopping in the car and driving up to see my daughters and grandchildren. So I won't be hanging around afterwards. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
Well done, Bolly. I seem to remember a night halfway between Milton and Waihola, and the punches were flying and all hell was breaking loose, and I looked over and Bruce's hair went from that colour to that colour. Funny the things we get into, eh? Hey, anyone else? I won't start picking names or whatever. If you want to say something, by all means, team. Whoever wants to say a word. Dana.
Bruce, you'll always be Bruce 1. Sorry, Bruce 2. You will remain Bruce 2. And that came about when there was 3 Bruces. And somebody said something and I said, he's Bruce 1, he's Bruce 2, and then there was Bruce 3. Very common name. So definitely Bruce 1, you will remain. Your number 1 will not be changed. So I'm Bruce 2. Just thought I'd reassure you on that.
I'm looking forward to the result of the
Don't care. So your wise words will will be very, very missed around the table. We'll miss everybody else that's not standing as well. Yes.
I thought you were heading into a Joe Lowry speech there for a minute.
Not me.
Right, team, and we're done. We still have, as I say, the third. No one else want to bang it? No. Thank you, team. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to go to public excluded.